April Wine co-founder Jim Henman got an amazing dose of reality when it came to his addiction. This is an amazing story. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music. As we said in our last interview, Jim Henman left April Wine after only their first album. He had to. He said he would have died if he stayed in rock and roll. It was just a lifestyle that doesn't get everyone in that way, but he knew enough to want to leave. When you hear this clip, you'll hear an interesting, well, it's strange how things work out. He leaves a certain job, goes to another job, and gets a heavy dose of reality or fortification for him not being on anything, drugs or alcohol.
Jim, when you left the band, like, what exactly did you do for a living?
I worked in the medical field. I actually ended up my career working in toxicology, in a toxicology lab, an analysis lab, where we measured heavy metals, drugs of abuse, plus therapeutic drugs, overdoses, autopsies, because everybody that dies unexpectedly, I don't know, or suspiciously, you get an autopsy, and we would have to analyze the blood and the urine and body secretions or whatever to see what might have caused this unexpected death. I enjoyed it very much. I was just thinking about that today, as a matter of fact, John. I worked there 30 years. And I'm very, very grateful that I was able to find a place that I could, first of all, a job that I could do, that I actually could work at and enjoy and make a living and retire and go back into music. So I lost everything basically in my life through my own self-abuse issues, with drugs and alcohol and my own mental makeup and whatever. You can go so far. You could talk about this forever. This type of person that I am in that respect, but I don't want to go there. But I lost everything. I lost the music business. I lost relationships. I lost friendships. I started to lose my health. Then I got married, and I started to lose my family. I probably would have lost my job. And then I quit that behavior, those behaviors that I had. And as I said, I've been sober 37 years now. And I got everything back. It's amazing.
Well, what I find amazing, Jim, is the fact that of all things you fell into, or chose rather, because you chose this, isn't it ironic that you would end up looking at other people's cause of death, and sometimes the cause of death that you could have easily had yourself? I
know, and I've thought about that a lot when I was working with this, because you're very right. Here's the scary thing on this job. One morning, one Saturday night, I was out, and I loved going to Joe Murphy down here. Joe Murphy's a blues legend down here in the Maritimes. And Joe was playing, he plays every Saturday night at a place called Papa's Mustache, or Father's Mustache, I guess it's called. And I used to enjoy going once or twice, every couple of months I'd go. And I'd dance a little, because I learned how to dance without having to be drunk, So I was, and there was this young lady there who I knew, beautiful, beautiful lady, and I knew she had some issues, but I asked her to dance, and we got up and danced, and I made a date with her. I was single then. I divorced my first wife, and I made a date with her to go to supper the next weekend, and she said yes. And so I went home, and she disappeared. I went to work Monday morning, and somebody came in with a blood sample from a suicide, and it was her.
Oh my God!
So, I mean, that was a big wake-up call for me. It's like, whew. Yeah, and I knew what she had done, because I knew her enough to know where her demons were. So I knew what she had done. But that was a real wake-up call. That some of the stuff we do in life is terminal. And I kind of knew that back when I was 22, 23, but you don't really, it doesn't really hit you until it's somebody you know that does that type of thing,
My mouth is still wide open. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was a bizarre feeling to be holding her bodily fluids in my hand, and had asked her for a date Saturday night. Very strange.
When you left the music industry, weren't people coming up to you and saying, Jim Henman, wait a minute, weren't you in April Wine? Did you get a lot of people coming up to you?
John, I still get it. The only time I've ever used and I use the word used, my experience with April Wine to my benefit is booking shows, right? You know, a co-founder of April Wine and Juno Award winner. I can use that legitimately. You know, that's where I come from. That's part of my history. But I've never ever been one to say, "Oh, I'm so, you know, I don't want to go there. I don't want to be that type of person," right? that type of thing.
Don't you know who I am?
Don't you know who I am? My son once told me. My son, who's he's 39, 40 now. He told me he loved the fact that his last name was Henman. He didn't say he loved the fact his name was Henman, but he liked the fact that his last name was Heaven when he was dealing with clients who recognized the last name. And they recognized it because we were from Nova Scotia, from Halifax area, and there was 3 Henmans in the band. So a lot of people knew the name Henman who were over a certain age, like in their 50s or something at that point. And he would be doing these big deals. He was he worked with high-level sales, real high-level sales, and he'd be doing these big deals and approaching this guy, and the guy would say, Henman. And he, you know, and my son told me once, he said, "Oh, I used that, Dad."
Why not?
I said, "Go ahead."
Jim Henman has a brand new song called Some of These Children. It was composed in response to the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Florida. Keep in mind, 50% of the proceeds go to Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Halifax. There'll be links in the description of this video where you can pick it up. Also, go to Jim's website, jimhenman.com. Thank you so much for everyone who bought our swag. We appreciate you buying our t-shirts and our sweatshirts and our cups. We're expanding this channel, so we're raising some cash to do that. If you want to volunteer, remember, you have to be a self-starter. It's very important. We're looking for researchers, writers, and even sometimes a co-host to come on this show via Skype and talk about whatever topics we're talking about, if you want to do that. If you want to start a YouTube channel, this is a great springboard. I'm from the belief system, and I've said this many times on this channel, the more people doing this, the better. I don't look at you as competition. I look at you as a comrade. So if you come on this channel, as you know, we've got a lot of watchers on this channel. It might be a springboard for you. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music.